Good afternoon, everybody. It's Amber Marie and AZ. I thought I would come back in and explain why I haven't had a video out in a couple weeks. It's one of those days. Yeah. The motherboard on my phone went, I don't like you anymore, and committed suicide. I hadn't even had the phone for a year. So, very, very, very upsetting. I love my phone. I lost a lot of pictures of my puppies and all the progress on pieces in Harmony. However, I posted the majority of them to Instagram. But as a result, I was without a phone for almost 2 weeks, and I've spent the last few days just catching up on everybody's videos, which I am, yay, caught up now completely. So I wanted to give you an update on how In Harmony is doing and let you know what's going on. Maybe show you a few of my patterns that I have in my stash. So In Harmony, the last time that you saw it, had a few trees to the left of the big male wolf's head, which is Snowy. And we're going to call him Snowy because this is about Snowy, Frosty, and Chrissy for me. And it had the majority of Snowy's head done. In the meantime, just because my phone didn't work didn't mean I wasn't stitching, guys. We have now got the entire tree line is finished. Look at that. I'm so pleased with that. All the shadowing. The only thing left on the moon to do, as you can see here, is the center part, which I'm going to fill in for a stitch with me. And we have Chrissy's neck and chest done. That's this right here. Yeah, there are a lot of blues and grays in this to make it look white because of the moonlight. We have a teeny tiny bit of Frosty down here, and right around her little nose is being done right now. As you can see. See the little black piece? Right. Okay, let me do this again. That's her nose, and that's part of her mouth. So it's where she's standing in front of him. And part of Snowy's back of his neck here. So yeah, look at that. It is coming along very nicely. Please excuse any fur on it. Well, hair. Eskies don't have fur, actually. They have hair, microscopically even. Because they're part wolf. So, yeah, that is where we have gotten to in about a month total from start until now. A little over a month, just over a month. So I'm hoping to have this done long before my birthday in June, hopefully, and have it washed and framed and up on my wall. So, but I want to show you a couple of other pieces that I have. I'm going to show you, oh, let's see. I think I showed you that, but I didn't show you this. I have one of these that I'm about to show you that is almost completely done, and it got lost. When we were moving into this house a few years ago, 4 years ago, all of my fabric, the majority of my yarn, my sewing and quilting supplies, except for, thank God, my sewing machines, and the majority of my cross stitch disappeared. We had a storage unit that was broken into, and we lost everything. Our appliances, our furniture, everything. Even my dad's service record. Yeah, you want to break a Navy daughter's heart. That pretty much will do it. Let me put you on hold. Sorry about that. If somebody is on the sidewalk right in front of my house or makes a silly mistake of stepping into my yard, these babies know it. This is Chrissy. For those of you who have not seen a prior video with her, she is the last of my original Eskies, which were Snowy. This is a depiction of Frosty made by a friend of my husband's. They are tattooed on my back. Just, yeah. And this is Chrissy, their little girl. They were big standards, and we got her, and they raised her up from 13 weeks old. So, yeah. They both passed away 2 years ago, 9 weeks apart. So that was a hard time. And back here, you can see the tip of the ears is, there you go. There's my giant boy, Spirit. Spirit. He is the biggest Esky I've ever seen. He's even too big for show standard, but I don't show my puppies. It's like putting a kid in a baby pageant. I personally just can't do it. Ladybug is hiding over here. She's not a big camera person. And down here we have Snowflake. And who ran off was my only mix, my American Eskimo Chihuahua mix, Spooky Doo. Someday I will explain that name. But anyway, so recently I found the missing one of these, and it is almost complete. Thank you goodness. But I have to wash it because it turned out it got into my shed, which we didn't know had a water leak, and it does. So I have to wash it and then try to finish it. But it will also look like this. Can you guys tell I'm a little Sicilian, a little Italian girl? Let's change that to where you don't have lighting angle. See? Me and my Italian themed stuff. I just love it. So that's another one of my patterns. I also have a huge coffee addiction. I really do. Massive. I guess being a Navy daughter and then working as a U.S. Navy nurse for a long time, yeah, you depend on your coffee. Believe me. Plus being a musician and vocalist, I really needed coffee. So I also do needlepoint, for those of you who don't know. At some point when I decide to pick it up and work on it, you will see my piece that says, and I got it when I was 40, guys, 39 or 40, and haven't picked it up in 8 years because we thought everything was lost. But it says, I don't have hot flashes, I have power surges. Really cool piece. But we'll pick that up. Anyway, coffee addiction. This is my only coffee needlepoint. Love it, and someday I will actually get to sit down and work on it. I just never have time. It's supposed to look like that when it's done, but I'm not a big fan of pink, so I'm not sure if these... I guess these are a basket weave stitch. They look more like a waffle to me, but anyway, they may change from pink, and I'm not a fan of orange, so we'll see. We shall see. Now, luckily, when all of this happened, it turned out that everything for those projects was in this. My piece for the chair of the arm of my recliner. So yeah, thankfully, all of my threads were in here, kept safe, and this bag managed to stay in the house. Thank the Lord, because some of my favorite DMCs, the ones that are from my menopause piece, are right here. And in case you're wondering, yes, I love purple and I love teal. Those are my colors. Seriously, my colors. I also love turquoise and red and navy blue. So, but this is my only other coffee piece. I changed a lot of the colors on it, and I don't like stamped cross stitch, but it was the only way I could get this. So I'm stitching it on the stamped cloth that it came with, but then I'm going to turn around and put it on Aida and do it my way. So, given enough coffee, I could rule the world. I've been saying that for 40 years. Or darn near. So those are... I'm showing you my non-wolf patterns, although I'm not showing you any of my Halloween patterns. The ones I have for Halloween are not your typical Halloween pieces. They're ones that were limited edition, super obscure, and I just fell in love with them and could never let them go. Predominantly, it was a Halloween haunted house that I've never gotten to stitch. Can't find the majority of the pattern, but I did find that I had sat down and with my Sewline marking tool, if I can find it here for a moment. My knitting needles, sock needles are all falling out. So yes, I knit too. I also crochet and quilt and do all that. Anyway, this is for quilting. And I don't know if they still make these. I really hope they do, because as a cross stitcher or any kind of stitcher, you can get green, this color green, and you can get the white ceramic marking quote-unquote lead. It's ceramic dust. It's pressed together. It comes right off your piece. It's beautiful. It's the only marking implement I've ever seen I can get off of any color background. Fabric, Aida, anything. But it's called Sewline, and if you get the chance to order one of these, I would advise you find them and do so. Like I said, they are a known quilting tool, so you'll probably have to try a quilt shop for that. But in my opinion, it is so incredibly worth it. My finished pieces are getting ready to go in their frames, respectively. At one point, I had done 3 really pretty little Christmas ornaments. One for each of my babies, Snowy Pretty Boy, Frosty Aldebaran, and Crystal in Winter, with their year of birth on it. And we cannot find Snowy and Frosty's anywhere. But Chrissy's managed to stay with me. So that is her actual name. Yeah. And I don't know why I did this, but someone spilled coffee on it, so I have to wash it or finish coffee dyeing it. But I did this little Christmas tree. I think I was helping my daughter to stitch that, but I doubt it with metallics on it. She does not like the metallics. That's one of my autumn Halloween pieces, which is I guess I can show you this one. This is a huge full coverage piece that I will show you at the end of all this. Being a grandmama, and I've been collecting teddy bears since I was a little girl. and lost most of my collection, but I have all my Halloween themed bears. I have ABC Bear by Country Threads. I've had this forever. Forever and ever. And it is actually the entire alphabet too, guys. Not just this center picture with the bear. This. It's also the entire alphabet. So, and I love Tigger. And every member of my family is named after a character in Winnie the Pooh. Because everybody always called me Tigger. They said I bounced. Too old to bounce now. But I have this Seasons of Fun with Pooh. Because when you see the back, you will really understand. You see the Tigger one on the front with the whole gang. I'm still upset that Rue is not there. Because Rue is my son. But yeah, I have a Tigger problem. I guess in my finished objects, I didn't show you my Winnie the Pooh needlepoint that I did. I never framed it because I've never found a frame that I'm in love with. But this was my first needlepoint, guys. My very first. And you can see my back is nice and clean. I don't usually show you the backs because I'm not into the whole back shaming and perfect back thing usually. But I was so proud of this because it was my first. I'm not showing you my Teresa Wenslers because I really have to look for those. My other teddy bear one is Hatbox Teddy's. I've never stitched any of these yet that are in pattern form. And of course I had to have a Mediterranean villa because, well, I'm Mediterranean, guys. I thought that was beautiful, but I loved that they divided it into two separate portions, and I just thought that was so cool. Personally, I highly doubt that I would do that, but, you know, I never even bothered to look to see if it was a full coverage piece, and of course it is. I have quite a number of full coverage pieces and didn't by intention buy them that way. I just happened to love the patterns and thought they were beautiful, and so I bought them, not understanding that full coverage was a big deal. I guess it is nowadays. It wasn't back in the day. There weren't a lot of full coverage pieces, and you bought what you liked and you stitched it. That's all there was to it. I have one Marty Bell Pro pattern, and I didn't know Marty Bell was a big deal with anybody. I just happened to love the poem She Walks in Beauty. She walks in beauty like the night of, yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites. But I just thought that was such a beautiful depiction of that poem. Quite lovely. Quite lovely. The other Marty Bells that are on here, I really would love to get my hands on the top 3, which are landscape. No, I guess top 4, because I like the Birdsong's Garden. I would love to find these. But you really can't find stuff like this in Arizona anymore because Needler's Nest went away. And that was our LNS. There is no other LNS on this side of the metropolitan Phoenix area. And apparently not in the city of Phoenix either. There is one in Scottsdale and a couple in East Mesa and Chandler, and that is 30 plus miles away from my home. So yeah, those are not going to happen. I can't make that kind of drive with my health the way it is. So yeah, we just don't do that. And the last one that I will show you that is non-wolfy is one that I found at Needler's Nest. Yep, at Needler's Nest. And it is by a company called Mystic Stitch Inc. And Maxine Gadd is the designer. It's called Lantern Wreath. It is a massive piece. Massive. Like, huge. And it is full coverage. But I just fell in love with that. I love Halloween. It's my favorite day of the year. Very favorite day of the year. So I will eventually sit down and do that when I'm taking a break from wools. I'll work on it intermittently. Kind of an odd thing for me to say, me taking a break from wools. I have been in love with wolf-themed things for as long as I can remember. Probably longer. Sorry about that. So that's just me. I will not be showing you one of my wolf patterns because of the fact that it came as a stamped, but I love the pattern itself, so I'm not doing it on that cloth. I'm doing it on my own, and I will then be designing the background stitching for it. But I will show you these. Custom Crafts ink seems to be my favorite for any wolf-themed items. Because they do such beautiful, well, it's paintings that have been transformed into cross-stitch. And this one, you can tell these two were bought before I got Chrissy, when I had Snowy and Frosty, by the titles of them. This one is called Soulmates. Beautiful, isn't it? Also full coverage. I think all the custom crafts that I have are all full coverage, so I am presuming that the majority of custom crafts are full coverage because they're paintings that were then turned into cross stitch. And this one is called Howling at the Moon, which is Soulmate's sister piece. Absolutely love that. And then there's Gaze. This is by the same designer, Diane Allaire. Crazy full coverage. I'm going to grow sick of. I'm not an orange and yellow person anyway, but this piece just is haunting. It reminds me of a wolf that I actually knew, who a friend of mine took care of. It is called Gaze, and it is a huge full coverage piece. Massive, but it's so beautiful. And I will probably never want to stitch orange or yellow again in my life at the end of this. So those are my big full coverage pieces. And you saw the beautiful vertical Janlin piece called the Pack that a sweet lady in Utah sent me. Well, so that she can see it too. This is the one by Cross My Heart Incorporated called the Pack. It's a little more detailed than the Janlin pattern, but it's the same theme. It's the 4 timbers or grays, depending on which pattern you're working with. I'm trying to get it at a different angle so you guys can see it. And it's quite a big piece, but it is not a full coverage piece by any means. So that is all I'm showing you today. I'm going to stop at that because it seems like I just showed you a really large amount of stuff. And just let you know if you're upset because there weren't videos out, which I'm sure nobody's upset by it, but if you were worried about me or anything, I'm okay. Other than allergy season making me pretty sick and screwing with my ability to sleep because I couldn't breathe. Hi, Crazy Chris. She's on her little pillow perch here. I'm doing okay. I just didn't have a phone that worked for a while, so I couldn't film, I couldn't upload, I couldn't watch anybody's videos, and I'm way caught up on videos, which is cool, because I don't like to be behind on anything. So at that, I have to wish you all a wonderful week. I hope you get a lot of stitching done and really enjoy what you're doing. My thoughts and prayers are with all of you, as always. God bless you. Bye-bye.